The main principle to learn in our daily life is to be really aware of what we're doing. Say to know what you're feeling, what you're experiencing, what you're physically doing, what you're mentally doing, and then to be just like accepting one by one, and then like proceed with whatever plans or whatever duties you have, step by step, but be aware of what you're doing and not just mindlessly jump to the next one, rush into something, and then later have all kinds of trouble and problems. That's one of the main principles, I think, to learn about how to kind of live a skillful life, do things kind of consciously. This is coming from our point of view, is like we're many times spending time in meditation formally. We sit down and slow down and then become aware of our mental states and things like that. Like this is like the formal practice we do. And for us then in the monastery or like as a Buddhist lay practitioner, then the times of formal meditation, they lead to the adaptability in daily life, to really do things skillfully, bit by bit, not rush them, give really attention to your tasks and do them completely. And so you could also start with saying, whatever I do, I'll do 100%. And I'll dedicate myself 100%. For example, if you're drawing a picture, you just really tune into the atmosphere of what you want to draw, and you're conscious of how each color and how the texture and everything affects you. And then you draw it according to a real kind of 100% feeling that you generate while you're doing this. And then the result becomes very, very beautiful. But sometimes we're not skilled yet to do that. Say, that would be actually the aim of all our practice, would be there to be 100% there all the time. But most of us are still scattered. We think about the future, we think about the past, we anticipate things. We've got what they call in Thai arom, that means like an agitated state of mind. Say, for example, overridden by anger or like subtle aversions. So that's why then in the monastery or like with lay practitioners, we emphasize do some formal meditation, sit down and practice to be quiet and close your eyes, shut down things first, and then you gradually open up and then you become more aware naturally. And for us, meditation is not something really esoteric, exalted or so. It's something where you focus on the sense of knowing what you're doing, being able to process whatever happens. Say, if I sit down, want to be quiet, and then suddenly there's a bird singing, and I think, what kind of bird is that? Or there's a telephone ringing, and I think, what kind of ringtone is that? So we're kind of distracted easily, so that we just say, never mind, whatever happens, let it happen. I'll be just centered again. I think there's a lot to be said about that. Like generally, good conduct, like be a good person, do a lot of things that help other people, and be friendly, be able to say, be sensitive to other people's feelings, and integrate your life with other people's and the surroundings' needs, so that there's little conflict. And classically in Buddhism we say you practice sila, that means you practice a moral life. You don't do things that are against our code of ethics. So that's the 5 precepts that we take, for example. Usually lay Buddhism starts off with telling people you got to keep the precepts. For the monks it's actually the same. We also have to keep the discipline, the monks' precepts. So there's this level of like conventionally we try to be, I would say, kind and generous, and try to be forgiving, non-aggressive. We practice to be truthful and have open, clear relationships to people, and that's on the level of like the basic ethics. The word awareness again is a bit too broad, but then in that sense, sensitivity, to develop that say caution and a sense of care for others, and know that other people's actions affect ourselves very well, and see how we deal with that, like integrating how people feel, how to avoid conflict, aggravating things, people getting into arguments, so that we can deflate that. And first of all, to have the say, consideration for other people or life around us, generally, like not to hastily jump into emotional things, but like feel it out first. Kind of don't react too early. Just kind of give it some time to really understand what another person's saying. A sense of, I think, respecting the framework of what one has set up for oneself, or the structures in which one is. For example, if you're studying something, or you're in school, or you have certain tasks that you agreed upon doing, then just to really respect that. And like, this is more like on the level of plans and arrangements that we do, that there's time when we decide what we want to do and how we want to do it, and then there's the time to carry it out without, again, throwing it all over, and being diligent enough to, say, for example, as a school kid, more or less be diligent and learn your things, because you're a school kid, you're not like a grown-up yet, and you just learn and be like in Thai, it's so easy, be a good boy. Like many Thai people understand, be a good boy, follow your parents, because that's the framework we're in. Like for monks as well, like we have a lot of rules, and we try to live according to that framework and be perfect in that sense. We know it's not for everybody, and not everybody has to always do whatever homework, or for us like our monastic duties. But when we do that and we choose that, then we just finish every job, every task that we have nicely, and it takes a lot of diligence or self-discipline to adapt to the program and to the setup around you. Like, I think every now and again, just to take stock of what we've been doing and how it works, and not always to be bound up with duties and the program that we're in, but every now and again have time to ourselves and relax, and then afterwards, then naturally, after having had some time for oneself, then actually I think it's almost an instinct, a human instinct, that one wants to kind of like do the right thing and be helpful, or like fulfill one's tasks or so. But if it's ongoing, like non-stop, you have to work and you have to qualify, and you have to study, you have to pass, then I think that's too much. So in order to be able to do that part that is reasonable for us diligently, we also need some time where we're quiet and where we can relax, and where we have things where we just kind of say are with ourselves, or maybe play music or football or so for lay people. For the monks, it would be meditating. This kind of thing, that you have some time where you can calm down and let go of things. And then afterwards, it's very easy just to do things correctly. Say, for example, here, there's a lot of, like, say, chores, like keeping the monastery clean, and duties of looking after our robes and things like that. For the monks, there's a lot of little prescribed duties that we have to do. And in order to be able to do them nicely, we need to have the time to take a deep in-breath in between, and just relax in between. So it's the two things, like if it's all balanced, like the time that we have for ourselves, and that we are like happy with ourselves and do things that are like joyful or so, that helps then to kind of have the discipline to do the things that we don't actually want to do, like for example cleaning the toilet or helping your mom wash the dishes and things like that. I think it's a certain skill that one needs to find access to, that the sense of being happy with oneself in the present moment, and not to jump to the future, or like be uptight, worried, or like have this kind of reverberating thoughts about what one has done. It means more or less a bit of acceptance of yourself, and being able to say, be happy in yourself. So for that, a lot of the actions that we do around the time when we sit and meditate and try to be in the present, a lot of the things that we've been doing before, they if they're on the wholesome side, if we're in the plus, doing good things for other people, helping somebody who is, for example, sick or so, or like, taking somebody out for a change of atmosphere when he's like under stress or so. These good meritorious things that we do, they come back to a sense of being happy about one's own actions, and it's easier to let go of the past and not think about the future if one knows one has done things nicely and even with a plus of, say, generosity, if you've been sharing things and things like that, then it's easier to just slow down and say, now I'm just gonna, 20 minutes I'm just staying with my breath in the present moment, not worrying about what to do next and what I've done before. You're on the wholesome side already. Do wholesome actions. The things that support the ego, your sense of I and I'm special, things where you feel like you're taking advantage of other people. In the long run, it won't help us to feel peaceful with ourselves. So these quick jumps reverting to I'm great, I'm wonderful, I'm better. And I think definitely these are number one things to let go, even in normal daily life activities. Say, when you're in a football club or so, just emphasize teamwork and reduce the sense of self and ego. That's letting go a lot. By things that are easy for us to do. For example, if you've got certain skills, to share them with other people, and then you feel you're giving something, and you're practicing generosity on a bigger scale with some example that it's easy for you, and then it unfolds bit by bit. Like this, it's like the good feeling of having done something for other people, not just for oneself. That that permeates into other areas, and it also feeds back. Then when you want to be still and do meditation, then this comes up as a feeling of inner satisfaction for yourself, that you feel like actually there's no need to rush anywhere and there's no remorse, no regret or so. It's probably rooted in to be proud of yourself, probably into your goodness, into your good heart qualities, whereas the pride is a bit a superficial show, sometimes assuming things and boasting things, which then brings up this restlessness because it won't hold in the long run. It's just like a bit of a show. So if one can be genuine with one's actions, that they're really rooted in a good heart, then that's maybe the proud or self-esteem or the wholesome pride that one has in oneself that enables one to be present with whatever action one does, because one knows, actually, I'm a good person, I can do this, I've got enough resources for helping out or for applying myself to my tasks. If we focus on how we feel deep in our heart, whether it's something that we would do, for example, for our mother or for our grandmother or some old sick person, if it comes from that same source, what we call metta, if it's related to these very wholesome inner feelings, then we know it's a good quality that oneself possesses, and it's not a shallow kind of superficial competitive strength or so. If it's something outside, like say being number one in a certain sport or so, that does feel very different than doing something very wholesome and helpful to for example, think of your mother. What would you like to do when she's old and sick? Sense of gratitude and devotion to some good task at hand. I think it comes through the sensitivity and the mindfulness, that we respect the circumstances, the other people around, that we're not taking advantage of things, and just humbly feeling our way through the difficulties of life. And I think that's graceful, and that's also a sense of appreciation of all the goodness in other people, and makes one, actually the Buddha says it's a quality that makes one beautiful. It's got a beautiful demeanor. So sometimes we can copy that from the outside. We just Thai people like to smile. Think of, okay, instead of being angry and nasty, let's just try to put up a nice smile and be friendly, graceful.